Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie, and so much went down on Arrow tonight that we're gonna have to talk about the repercussions after I do my top 5 moments like normal. We have a lot of stuff that we have to talk about, and in case you didn't know, there are only 3 episodes left this season. I was actually gonna post a bonus video this morning, but I had a few technical issues, so I'm just gonna post that in a few hours after I post this video. Be sure to subscribe to get it, and leave me suggestions for future bonus videos. I'm gonna be doing 3 more, one for each final episode of Arrow. So careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, but let's start with top 5 moments. Number 5, Roy flips his shit on everyone. Did anyone else get a Frankenstein vibe with him lying there on the table? They could have done this during Halloween and it would have been totally appropriate. I knew that he'd hallucinate Thea, but I was surprised that she told him to kill her. Slade's shadow hallucination seems a little more insidious, but I guess it just depends on what your mind is like before you get injected with Mirakuru. In case you don't remember all the way back to Heir to the Demon, in episode 13, the stuff that they have him on is just an IV drip of that venom solution. It's just going to keep him under until they can fix him. In real life, it's actually pretty common for patients who are at risk for injuring themselves really badly to be kept in medically induced comas. My biggest surprise from all this actually ended up being that Sin is not really in on the Team Arrow business. I kind of thought that she was Sarah's partner in crime, but now it seems like she's more of a sister like Laurel would be. Number 4, Sarah breaks up with Oliver and then takes off. Biggest question was, who is that old friend? My first guess was that it's Slade, but I think based on what happened later in the episode, she's going back to the League of Assassins. I'm actually expecting them to come back to Starling City before the finale and just, run cleanup on some of Slade's Mirakuru soldiers. So maybe that's what Sarah's comeback moment will be. She'll be back in the darkest hour. I did get really worried though when she was talking about, the darkness inside her, like not having a soul. It seemed like the writers were teasing that she might end up dying, or wanting us to think that she might end up dying. There'd been so many other clues that she'd live, especially the writers talking about doing more Birds of Prey next season, that it took the rest of the episode for me to figure out what was going on. High fives to the writers though, for pulling a bit of a misdirect with that last scene. Right now we only have episode descriptions for the next 2 episodes, and Sarah isn't anywhere in there, so it looks like she's not going to be back until the finale. Hopefully with the League of Assassins and Ra's al Ghul. Number 3, Oliver is out of commission. His leg is totally effed up, which is why he pretty much jumped into Felicity's arms at the bottom of those stairs. Who else got a flashback to last season whenever he carried her in his arms? It was a nice funny moment in an otherwise, very shocking episode. Felicity always does get the best jokes. Can you even fit into those leather pants? And she actually did poke fun at him for being too heavy. Who else laughed out loud when Oliver was like, "Where are the drugs? I need all of the drugs," and he just downed everything. I think it was barely enough to keep him from standing without crying whenever they subdued Roy. Oliver's pain, with his leg was such a big deal in this episode. I kept feeling like they were teasing him possibly finding some new Mirakuru to use. Obviously, I don't expect him to do that because the last sample that he had, he gave to Caitlin Snow to make the cure, and even Slade didn't have Mirakuru to give those soldiers. He had to leech it out of Roy. But number 2, Oliver has a child. WTF, but I didn't see the name of the woman, so if they wrote it in the credits, please add it in the comments below. We should assume that his child is 1, still alive, and 2, in Central City. They were fuzzy about how far back that flashback went, but I guess the boy or girl would be between like 6 or 7 years old now. Old enough for a young actor to be cast and have speaking lines. So this is really important. Remember when Slade said, "There's one more person that has to die." I think that child is going to come back in the finale, which is called Unthinkable. That's the title. I think he's going to threaten the life of his child. I'm avoiding pronouns, but I think we're all pretty much expecting a Connor Hawke situation. There's such a huge place for that story to go in season 3. I totally think that said child will survive and be a part of whatever ends up happening going forward. Him living in Central City is just another perfect opportunity to link Arrow and Flash stories. And now Oliver, in addition to Felicity, has a reason to go to Central City. Let me know if you agree though. And my number 1 moment, Slade kills Moira Queen. Huge WTF, but there were some parts of this that I expected, and there were a few things about it that really surprised me. First off, in my finale predictions video I did last week, I did predict that Moira would be the one to die, but I didn't think she would die this way. I expected Slade to use Felicity and Sarah, or Felicity and Thea, or really any other combination of the younger women on the show in that twist of Ivo's, making Oliver choose who dies. So remember, she never told Oliver that his child was still alive, and 2, she didn't have time to tell him that Merlin was still alive. So obviously they have a few surprises left for the next couple of episodes. I think they did a really good job of sending Moira's character off. They gave her a very, dignified moment at the end where she chose her children over her own life, and Slade even called her out on it and gave her some respect. I think that's why he used the blade to kill her instead of shooting her in the head. And I thought it was really nice that they gave them that moment of reconciliation where she told Oliver, yes, I know your secret identity. So before we talk about repercussions and what's going to happen based on all these big WTF moments, let me know what your favorite moment was. Was it Moira Queen dying? Was it the Connor Hawke teaser? Or was it something else? The thing that's really sticking with me right now is Slade's last line. There's still one more person that has to die. So let's talk about what all this means for the final episodes. First off, next week we saw in the teaser, the funeral, Oliver can't be found, Slade unleashes his army, including Ravager, and Brother Blood has his big moment. The episode is titled City of Blood, so it's a big Brother Blood episode. So things are going to get much, much worse before they get better. But like I said, I expect Oliver's child to be a plot point before the end of the season, Sarah to be back with the League of Assassins, and Merlin is also coming back too. We're not really sure what he's going to do yet. Is he just going to try and take Thea away, or is he going to try and help him out? Obviously, I'm really hoping that he tries to help him out, because seeing Oliver fight with Merlin would be pretty cool. Overall, I gave the episode a solid A. They just keep making things worse and worse for Oliver and Team Arrow, and it's only going to make their victory that much sweeter in the finale. More than any other show this year, with the exception of maybe Game of Thrones, I think Arrow has surprised me the most with how much fun it's been to analyze week to week. It's a big tribute to the writers that what they, the cast, and the crew have done just lends itself to heavy analysis and discussion. It's just so much more interesting. The other big thing that I'm really looking forward to that I'm hoping is going to happen in the next couple of episodes or maybe in season 3 is Thea to choose a path. Either follow Oliver and pick up a bow, or follow Laurel and just become a more self-actualized, stealth member of Team Arrow. I was really happy to see Sin again too. I think she'll be around for the finale again. And I hope that she and Roy end up getting some more of those Young Justice moments next season, where they go off on missions by themselves. That's actually another thing that I really want to talk about more when the finale is over. Them doing odd pairings of characters in season 3. Like, for instance, Diggle and Thea had a scene together, and we really haven't seen them get a moment like that in a long, long time. It was really good. So let me know in the comments below, which characters would you like to see paired up in scenes that normally wouldn't get scenes together, like Quentin and Diggle at a bar just telling hilarious stories about awful things they did in the past. So like I said, I'm posting my bonus video just in a couple hours after I post this video. Be sure to subscribe to get it. It's going to be my top 10 Team Arrow moments this year, just moments when it's just the team. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can actually click here to get that. I'll update the annotation as soon as I post it. And you can click here to get my Q&A video that's posting tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in a little bit. High fives.